Oh, yeah. Hey. Can you dig it? Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Friday night, and I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and joining me is the band hammer.
Howdy, ℂ𝕻𝕉𝕉 family.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. What's going on in your neck of the woods? In the lap of luxury is one of life's most pervious places to sit. But I like it. It's good to be there. It's good to be the king. It's good to be the lap. If it's luxurious. Right? All right. Who do we got first in chat? Judy. Hi, Judy. Judy says, hey, everyone. Nice to see you, Judy. You get the gold star for being first in chat. How are you doing? Judy says, here I sit, watching it snow again, 4 inches, to which I replied, ℂ now. What? ℂ now? Let it snow. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable there.
Sure you did.
Let it snow is what I meant to say.
Sure. We know what you meant. You typed exactly what you meant.
What it is. What's up, my brother? Nice to see you. He says, hello, Jake and Amanda and Judy, and to all Untethered Live. Hit that like button on your way in. Lots of hieroglyphics. Yes, please hit that like button, subscribe, share, support, join. Super chats are available in the chat box. And if you want to feed Jake, you can do that at CashApp $JakeJohnsonband. I do appreciate that very much. One more thing. If you want to hang out with us outside of the YouTubeverse, go hang out with us over at Facebook. Facebook.com/UntetheredLiveChillin'. The link is in the chat. It's a great place to hang out and share pictures, text, videos, and memes, and get to know one another on a personal level. There's a group chat where you can talk to each other privately. There is a regularly updated, adjacent to the type of things we talk about on this channel videos over there. It's entertaining. It's free. It's fun. It's yours. Go check it out. And join me for a cup of coffee. Go to the kitchen, pour yourself up a nice hot cup, and let's talk about the lap of luxury. But if you don't have a cup, you can get one in the description below. I recommend the first one that has my face on it. It is fantastic. But we also have stainless steel tumblers down there, the big ones and the little ones with locking lids to keep your coffee hot for hours. And they got the Untethered Live Bible Study logo on the front, all the platforms on the back. It's a great purchase. Get it if you can. And now, on with the show. Judy says, hey, Jake and Amanda. And what it is? And you read that one.
Judy, here's your star.
There you go.
Hi, Judy, and what it is. And hi, Untethered Live family. No. Good to see y'all. Happy Friday.
Pickle.
Poor baby. Yeah, there you go, babe. Pickle. There you go. I hope everyone had a good week. Hiya, Jake. How are you tonight?
I'm fantastic.
No, you're sad because it's not hump day.
I know.
Perv.
But it is a day. It is Friday. It feels like it's Wednesday, though. I don't know why I don't feel like Friday. I'm just not tired enough, I guess. Amber's here. She says, ridiculously elderly dwarves says, happy Friday, friends. And remember, everyone deployed. They did. I remember. I forgot once, but then I was reminded that everyone did deploy. Thank you, Amber. And how are you? Nice to see you.
Hamburger helper hand, Amber.
Amber says, Miss Hammer, hamburger helper hand back at you with a surprised heart. Judy says, hey, Amber. And Amber says, how's everybody doing today? Can't complain. It's a day. Debbie's here. She says, hello, everyone. So the show tonight is about where Kevin is sitting? Well, if he's in the lap of luxury, yes. Is he in your lap right now?
Or are you in his lap?
Are you in his lap? One of those things works better than the other.
Yeah.
I concur. Thank you very much. God bless you. Amanda says,
Hamburger helper hand, Debbie.
there you go. Linda Davis is here. She says, hi, Jake and Amanda, Judy, Amber, Debbie, and what it is. Hey, Linda, how are you, sweet lady? What's going on in your world?
LOL, Debbie.
Judy says, hey, Debbie.
Hamburger helper hand, Linda.
And Judy says, hey, Linda. And Amber says, Judy, Debbie, what it is? Lots of hearts and cool smiley faces, and one with herpes. Amber says, Linda, hearts. Aaron, what's up, brother? Nice to see you, my friend. How are you? I missed you the other night. You popped in, you said hello, and then I didn't hear from you again. I figured you went to sleep. But it's nice to see you. Amber says, oh my gosh, y'all, my blood sugar has been low 100s today. That's good. That's really good. For the last 2 days, just once over 200, and thank y'all for praying for me. Move around a lot. It'll keep going down if you start moving around. Get your heart rate up and get your metabolism up. Your blood pressure will go down. Your blood sugar will go down. And also don't eat a bunch of sweets. That's a good way to stop that.
Or starch.
Or starch. Or carbohydrates. It's really pretty much anything that you hate, eat that.
And Heller, Aaron, hamburger helper hand.
Linda says, hey, Aaron. Aaron says, what's up? What's up? Remember that commercial?
Yes.
What's up? Oh, the 90s. Amber says, good evening, Blue Team members. Good evening, Blue Team. Angels?
Aaron and Linda are the only two blue.
And Judy says, hey, Aaron. Linda says, that's great, Amber. It is great. It's good to know. Amber says, oh my gosh, yes. Snow. I know there's a song there, but I can't remember it. Oh, well. I can't remember it. That's it. God, that's an old song. Aaron says, good evening, Green Team members. Hello, Linda and Amanda, and all the lovely people who said hello. Hello to all in chat. Hello. Hello back at you. Nice to see you. Aaron says, I watched the movie Primate. It was stupid. Sounds stupid. What's it about? Wait a minute, let me guess.
A monkey.
A monkey. Amber says, yes, Linda. Dancing girl. I'm so happy with less insulin shots. I bet that sucks. Mr. P's here. Hey, John. How you doing, buddy? He says, hey, gang. I just wanted to say hi and hang out for a few minutes. Excellent. That's what we're here for. Going to go pick up a brand new side-by-side washer and dryer in a bit. Hey, that's cool. I'm looking for one of those, too.
Jealous.
Where'd you get yours?
His sister.
Oh, nice. Side-by-sides. That's good.
Hi, Mr. P, hamburger helper hand. And I'm jealous.
As soon as you find one, I'll get you one, baby. You got to find it. I can't materialize it out of thin air, but I'll go get it. It's yours. You just got to see where it's at. There we go. Linda says, hi, John. And Judy says, hey, John. Mr. P says, hi, ladies and gents. And whatever that other thing is. Amber says, congratulations, John. Good evening. Cool smiley face and one with herpes. John says, I got us some Bible study to catch up on Monday, Sunday morning.
Maybe.
Well, please do. Come on in. We're doing a really exciting, interesting read of the book of Enoch right now. And that is Sunday and Monday. But it's not in the morning. I mean, I don't care when you watch it, but we're going to do it at 8:30 at night. At 8. And Judy says, side by side, John, washer, dryer.
Not a stackable.
Right. Washer, dryer.
Full size.
Washer, dryer. Pizza rolls, says Aaron. Yummy. Same thing we had, only unfurled. We had pizza rolls, we just didn't roll them. Mr. P says, yep, they're the big ones from my sisters. Excellent. I hope that they will serve you well. The dryer's brand new and the washer's a year old. Thank you what it is for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that. He says, I'm not like everybody else. The Kinks, did you listen to the song? Oh, you're going to have to remind me. I forgot what song it was.
The Kinks.
I know who the Kinks are. And I've probably heard the song.
I'm not like him.
He said something. Is that the name of the song?
I think so.
Okay. I'll go look it up right now. I'll get a copyright claim just for you, John. I mean, what it is. I called you John, but I knew who you were. Just on autopilot. When I do two things at once, I get screwy for some reason.
Yeah, he can't do two things at once.
Alzheimer's. I think I have Alzheimer's. Or something. Go get it. Yes, that's the one. Go get it. Here we are. I gotta switch my sound over. Hang on.
Friday
Can you hear
is
that?
company karaoke.
Yeah,
90s
commercial.
pop theme. And well, I'm something of a karaoke connoisseur.
Yeah, I got it. So it's in the key of A, and it's going. And then the hook is like anybody else. Yeah, that's a good song. I like it. Very similar to Tuesday's Gone. It's got the same chord structure as Tuesday's Gone. It's a little differently played, but basically it's the same progression. It's pretty simple. But the Kinks are a good band. I can't listen to any more of it because I don't want to get, my video taken down. But I'll finish that when the show's over. Thank you for requesting that song or referring that song to me. If you want to know how to play it, it's in the key of A. It's A, E, D minor, F sharp minor. Yep, that's pretty much it. All right, where are we? And thank you for the super chat, by the way. I appreciate that. Big ones from myself. Okay, I got you. Amber says, checkers. First time in 4 years. Dinner tonight. Checkers. I prefer chess, but I guess if you're going to play a board game, it's better than that one with the black and white marbles. Oh, you're talking about the fast food joint. Got it. Judy says, cool, John. John says, Yeah, no more laundromat and $50 a month on laundry. Nice. That's a big plus. I bet that gets expensive. And Judy says, that's great, John. John says $100 for the pair. No brainer. That is a great deal. And one of them's brand new. Yes, sir. You did good. Goodbye. I love a good deal, by the way. I think that that's the mark of a real professional there, is to be able to make a good deal. I hate wasting money. I like to stretch that dollar and to stretch it as far as it'll go. So if you could get $300 or $400 worth of something for $100, you have done a good job. Judy says, that's great, John. I read that one. Patty's here. She says, hello, children. And Amanda says, hi, Patty. Oh, you read that. You're here.
Patty, hamburger helper hand.
My brain is frazzled. I'm telling you.
It's okay. I can't wake up, so don't feel bad.
That may be what it is. I may just hadn't be woke up yet, but I don't feel sleepy. I just can't think.
I just got dozed off good, and it was time to get up.
It's one of those days. Judy says, hey, Patty. Patty says, ladies and outlaws. I remember that. Judy says, sorry, Patty. Sorry for what? What did you do to Patty?
She spelled her name wrong.
Oh. Call me anything you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. Amber says, good evening, Patty. And John says, evening all. That's Nugget from across the pond. Hey there, John. How you doing? Got both Johns tonight.
It's 30 degrees out and you just turned the air conditioner on?
I'm hot. Sorry, I'm having hot flashes.
Wow.
It's the menopause. Linda says, hi, Nugget. And Amber said, you read that one.
Hamburger helper hand nugget.
And your name's Amanda.
Yeah, my name is Amanda.
I'm going to start over. Deleted. Judy says, hey, Nugget, tell your son happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday to your son.
I was going to say, you married me. You don't know my name?
I don't know my name. What do you expect of me? Patty says, I love this show, especially on Friday. Well, thank you, Patty. I love you every day, except for Thursday. Amy's here. She says, like, share, and invited some friends. Thank you, Amy. How are you, sweet lady? How's the crocheting going?
She's not crocheting.
Well, what is it then?
She's sewing a quilt.
Isn't that crocheting?
No, she's just sewing a quilt. Called quilting.
How's the quilting going? Jesus Christ. I think she knew what I meant.
Crochet is a little latch hook thing.
Amy says, Jude 116. These are the murmurers, complainers, and walkers after their own lusts, and their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. It's horrible. None of those people are here, except for maybe me. Aaron says, Jake has a nice shirt. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. It's just an old hand-me-down. I appreciate you very much. You have a nice shirt, too, I'm sure. I can't see it, but I have a great imagination. And in my mind, it looks like mine. Linda says, hi, Amy and Patty. And you can speak to me directly. I don't know what's happened here, but I'm your buddy, too. Amanda?
Amy, hamburger helper hand.
Amber says, Nugget, prayers and hearts. Mr. P says, greetings to all included lurkers. Thank you. Do we have lurkers? There's 14 people here, so maybe one or two. Aaron says, Patty the legend. Nugget says, Judy, I did. And he said, thank you to everyone. Excellent. What's the birthday boy getting for his birthday?
Or what did he get?
Or what did he get? Don't correct me.
Well, I wasn't technically correcting you. It was his birthday the other day, so what did he get for his birthday?
Where are we at?
8:39.
8:39. There we go. Amy says, Luke 6:35, but love ye your enemies and do good and lend hoping for nothing again. And your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest. For he is the kind unto all unthankful and to the evil. Let me read that again. For he is kind to the unthankful and to the evil. I don't know where the all came from, but just jumped in there. Yes, if you're going to give somebody something, give it to them. Don't lend. Don't loan people things. If you want them to have it, give it to them. Don't expect it in return. First of all, putting undue pressure on them to return it, knowing they're not going to hold up their end most of the time. And second of all, that's a good way to lose a friend. So just give it to them. It's easier that way. And then when you want something, they'll give it to you. Maybe, if they got it. If not, then you're the kind of friend that everybody leans on. And that's a good place to be. It's good to be the king. Amy says, hi, everyone. Hi, Amy. And Aaron says, Planet of the Apes meets the low-budget killer monkey with the rabies. Is that the one where they're in the pool and it's hunting them down? I think I've seen previews for that. Like college kids versus monkey, horror movie kind of thing. Monkey with rabies running around killing his owner and her teenage stupid-ass friends. Yep, that's the one. While they float in a pool. Exactly the one I was thinking of. Because he's afraid to swim. And he is the pet of this rich girl whose dad is a scientist, and the thing thinks like a human, and they sign to it, sign language, and it's just a dumbass, overdone movie, and it was just horrible. And I got up and walked out. Sounds like it. I'm telling you, they don't make good movies anymore. They just don't. They can't. Because the left can't create anything. That's why. And the left runs the movies right now. Amy says, hi, everybody. Amy, nice to see you. How you doing today? Judy says, cool, Nugget. And Judy says, hey, Amy. Amy says, congratulations to the great nephew, Jake. Thank you very much. He is adorable and healthy, which is great. And Mama's doing good, too. And I'm a great uncle.
Again. Now you got one of each.
No grandkids, though. Wow. Who'd have thunk I'd make great uncle before I make grandpa? And thank you again, what it is, for the lovely $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Patty says, oh, Aaron, I feel special when called the legend. Word. I don't think she meant it that way, but I'm going to put that inflection on it because it sounds cool.
I think she might have meant it that way.
Maybe.
She typed it that way with that face.
I mean, there's no comma, so. Amy says, like, share, subscribe, comment, and... Very nice, Amy. Thank you. What it is says, this is your reminder, Jake. We got it. And I can play it, so excellent. Mr. P says, congrats, Jake. Also, happy birthday, John Nugget. I think his son. I missed something. Nope, it's his son's birthday. And congratulations on the super chat, I think. Thank you. Aaron says, Patty, you are special. You certainly are. Own it. And Nugget says, no, it's called Old Timers. I think I got it, whatever it is, because I'm having trouble thinking sometimes. Either that or maybe I got gas. I don't know. It could be one of the two.
Well, you stay in there.
Cowboys 8-Panel, long time no see. How you doing? Lovely. Nice to see you. Come on in with your cool smiley face. Amy says, 3-day weekend starts at 10:57 p.m. Nice. Very good.
Cowboys, hamburger helper hand.
How was Christmas and New Year's, Cowboys? Aaron says, the heck is this not Florida weather?
This is not Florida weather.
It says, this is not Florida weather. No, it's cold up here, but for some reason I'm burning up here. So I had to turn the heat on. Turn the air on.
I threw a chunk of ice outside 2 days ago,
It's
and
still
that
ice.
chunk of ice is still out there.
Yeah, and I was freezing all day today, but right now I'm burning up. Like I can feel the heat radiating off of my head.
Well, I got the heat kicking too, so.
That may be why. Aaron said, Linda says, "Hi, Cowboys." And Mr. P says, "My cousin Anthony used to say old timers instead of Alzheimer's, LOL." I think that's what it is.
My daddy used to say he's got CRS.
Can't remember shit.
Yep.
That's definitely what it is. I got so much information in my head that I've started deleting old things to make room for new things. That's not a good place to be because I'm not making that decision. It's just happening. Maybe I need to defrag my hard drive.
Quit learning new things.
No, I need to upgrade to one of those SSDs. That's what I need to do. Get an upgrade.
Plug in a USB device in your ear and download some of it.
Something. Make some room in this damn old thing. I'm running XP, for God's sakes. Windows 3.1 up here.
Put Linux on it.
Right?
There you go. You're blowing some of it out now.
Nah, that's just congestion. Might make me think clearer, though. Amy says 10:57 p.m. 01 to be exact p.m. Well, why? Why not 11? Aaron says, "Amy, party like it's 10:59. I'll get the dreidel and you get the lyre." Patty says, "Hi, John from across the pond. Living in heaven like 007. Amy says, "Aaron, it won't be too much longer and you'll have a quilt to snuggle under." It's beautiful, too. I've seen pictures. Nugget says, "Thanks, John." Thumbs up. And hi, Patty. Aaron says, "I'm going to keep it safe, Amy, away from the dog." What it is says, "Jake, you're not like everybody else. That is a fact. God broke the mold when he made me just for any other reason to see what would happen, I guess. So this'll be fun." God made me, and I sat up, and he said, "Now, where did I put that?" And he turned back around, and I was gone. And then he said, "Brain." And Judy says, "Hey, Cowboys." And Cowboy says, "I like it too." You like what too?
The song.
The song or the quilt?
Song.
Song. Cowboy says, "Hi, Judy." Amber says, "Good evening, Cowboy." Cool smiley face and one with herpes. What it is says, "Don't get in trouble with trademark issues." Well, I had to listen to some of it. If they get me for half a song, I didn't even finish the chorus. They really got to work on that. That's really annoying. How do they expect music to exist post YouTube? Are they aware that all guitar players learn how to play guitar by listening to guitar players that came before them and mimicking what they do? That's how it works. It's a hand-me-down art. If there are no hand-me-downs, there are no arts. So, I don't know what they're expecting. I hope sooner or later they'll let up on that. I finally got, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but my Halloween show, my special, got copyright claimed. And like 3 days ago, they released it. Finally, I won. Never going to make any money because anybody that was ever going to watch it already has. But now it can, at least in theory, make money. So it's very awful nice of them to get right on that. Halloween video 3 days ago. Amazing. Judy says, "Enjoy, Amy. That 3-day weekend." What it is says, "Thank you," and thank you. It's a good song. Cowboy says, Amber Rain? No, April Rain. April Rain, Amber Grounds. And I hadn't seen April tonight. What it is says, you're welcome on Untethered Live. Appreciate you very much. And thank you for the membership, too, by the way. I don't know if I thanked you for that or not, but thank you. Cowboys 8 Panel says, thumbs up, Amanda and Jake. Back at you, Cowboys. Hope you're doing well. And what it is says, good deals at yard sales and marketplace, Craigslist. I agree, 100%. I do a lot of shopping at places like that and trade at stores and thrift shops and things. I love that I love junk. I'm a junk guy. I love junk. You get me in a store full of antiques and I'm happy for days. My favorite thing in the world is to find something valuable that they don't know is valuable and get it for next to nothing. I love that. And I love old things. I don't like new things. If I had my way about it, my computer would be made out of wood. Probably wouldn't run very well, though. Drink some Mountain Dew? Okay. It's definitely Mountain Dew. Amber says, offer up or the Free Stuff app. Nice. I haven't used the Free Stuff app. There was a thing a while back, a few years ago, called Free Cycle. I don't know if you guys had that in your area, but we had it here. And you became a member. It was a Facebook thing. Maybe. Some kind of thing. Might have been AOL. I don't remember. I think it was Facebook, though. Might have been MySpace. But anyway, you became a member. And then once you were a member for a while, you could offer stuff and people would just come by your house and get it. Or you could ask for something and somebody would offer it. You know, that sort of thing. It's a pretty sweet deal. It was not a sale kind of thing. It was a giveaway kind of thing. John says, my sister definitely hooked me up. It's sometimes good to have 5 big sisters. Well, I have one, but she's worth 2 or 3. Amy says, I like going to the laundromat every Sunday. I call my daughter and we talk about an hour. You can do that at home, you know. Free Cycle, that's the one. So you did have it in your area. I thought it might have just been a North Carolina thing, but cool. Is that still going on? I hadn't even heard about it in a long time. Mr. P says, I used to like it until all the immigrants showed up looking at everyone weird. That's nice, though, Amy. What did I miss? What's nice?
Going to the laundromat.
Oh, yeah.
Or Free Cycle.
That makes sense. Going to the laundromat. I just lost the thread there for a second, but I'm back. Amy says, I've had this sharp pain under my clavicle for about a week or so. I didn't hurt myself that I know of, and I found a lump near my neck and shoulder a few days ago. Go to the doctor. Mr. P says, sometimes I would go and have to sit 2 hours to wait for a washer because whole houses of the workers would come at one time. Yeah, that sucks. If you're going to be at the laundromat, it's nice to be at one that you got by yourself, or at least with one other guy. But if you're there with everybody, it's just chaos. And then people are rummaging through your clothes. And Aaron says, I was working on my grammar, Jake, and autocorrect talks to you in the third person. It's dumb, LOL. It's all right. I appreciate it, though. Thanks for the effort. I have to work on it constantly, so you're not alone. We are what we purport ourselves to be. You are what you pretend to be. That's it. So if you have a desire for something, you have to work towards it always. And nobody has it in spades for no reason. They all have to work for it. Amy says, LOL, Aaron. God knows I have. I've got a Georgia accent that is so bad, I sound like a moron right out of the gate. So I really had to work on speaking properly and enunciating clearly and saying words that other people understand, because my Georgia accent is rather thick and strong. And if I spoke in it, you wouldn't understand a word I said, except that you would think I had marbles in my mouth. And you probably still do, but I work very hard to speak clearly enough to be understood. Judy says, Amy, one word. Doctor now. Okay, 2 words. What it is says, Jake, have you ever read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon? I have not. Amy says, Mr. P, that would be difficult. And Mr. P says, good gracious, get that checked out, Amy. My mom got the big C that way. So did mine. I wasn't going to say that, though. It's kind of scary, but same thing with her. She had a lump on her back, and it just hurt to the touch. Next thing you know, lung cancer. Amy says, just put, I'll be fine on my tombstone. That's how I feel about it, Amy, but if it's bad, you got to go get it seen about. Mr. P says she got a pain and ignored it. Not good enough, Amy. Put that on mine. Not good enough? You are good enough. What are you talking about? You're perfect the way you are. What it is says, happy birthday, John Nugget's son. Aaron says, I'll put look up on your tombstone, Amy, and then put a sign on the tree that says, gotcha. Right? I'll put on mine, look up, ... And that's all. Or I'll put one, this is what I'll put on mine. I'll have an arrow pointed to the right, and then underneath it I'll write, I'm with stupid. John says, thanks, what it is. It was my son's birthday. And Judy says, LOL, Aaron. Mr. P says, congratulations on the great nephew. Been busy lately. I missed a bunch of things. I know that's right. Well, thank you. And his name is Josiah. I forget the rest of them, but the main one is Josiah.
Xavier.
Josiah Xavier. Something or other. Jones. Aaron says, hi, Judy. And Cowboy says, CRS. Can't remember shit, right? Aaron says, credit. I have this. Can't remember a damn thing. Credit. Judy says, hey, Aaron. Amy says, Aaron, I'm going to be cremated and put into a tree urn. Grow an apple tree from my ashes and feed the poor. That's lovely. And Linda says, I've been packing up a lot of things and decluttering. It's that time of year. You got a month or two before spring, but it's about that time to do the spring cleaning.
I wish.
It's coming.
I wish.
You wish what?
I could spring clean.
You can.
Okay.
And Judy says, oh, I need to do that, Linda. Amanda.
I don't know where I'm at. My chat jumped.
903. 903.
Come on back here.
Dum 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 dum.
Jump one way, then jump the other way.
Yeah, I have a Western going on in my head.
Nice, Linda. We need to do that too.
Yeah, baby.
It won't happen though.
That's what happens when you're lazy.
That ain't got nothing to do with being lazy, Mister. Don't throw nothing away. Can't declutter if I can't throw anything away.
You can move it around.
I'm not gonna move it around from place to place to place.
You know, you can whine about it.
Like I said, I can't declutter.
Amy
if I
says,
can't
November
throw anything
rain. Linda says some of it has been therapeutic and some of it emotional. Oh, I bet. Yeah, you run into a lot of things you forgot you had when you deep clean. Aaron says, Amy, I'm making fried green tomatoes. That's interesting. Judy says, Jake's chat's about to jump and leave him lost. It happens. I will find
904.
it. Thank you. Guns and Roses, Amy, says Judy. Guns and Roses? Patty says, oh, Miss Linda, I need to do that. I was like, Jake, a tone time, antique queen, but I'm not bringing any more in, right? I was like Jake. You like antiques. You like to collect things. Yeah, I got you. I like to collect things that are useful, that I may need. It's just a necessity, out of necessity, you know. I've always been that way. When I was a little boy, we moved into a trailer. We had just left my dad. He was an abusive guy, and we ran. So we had moved into a trailer in another state, and we didn't have anything. But it was the first time I ever had my own bedroom. It's kind of a nice surprise. But I didn't have any furniture. All I had was a mattress. And I was sad. And my mom said, well, what's wrong? I said, well, I don't have any furniture. This is my first bedroom. And I want an end table. I was like 7. Well, I was probably older than that. It's probably like 8 or 9. I want an end table. I don't know why I was thinking about that at that age, but that's what I wanted. An end table. Matching end tables. And she said, and I'll never forget it, she said, son, you got to make do with what you have. You don't have an end table. I said, I know, that's the problem. She says, well, what do you have? Nothing. She goes, you got a box. I said, I do. She goes, you got a sheet? I said, I do. She says, bring the box here. So I brought her the box, and she set it up, folded it up real tight, set it up on its side, and she said, bring me the sheet. She took the sheet and wrapped it around the box and tucked it under the bottom and set it at the side of my bed, and I had an end table. I never forgot that my entire life. Make do with what you have. If you don't have it, make it. If you don't have it to make, go find the parts and make it. You can do it. And as a result, there's not a thing in this world that I don't have within reason that I want. I have everything everybody else has. Vehicles, TVs, computers, yard tools, whatever. Within reason, I've got everything I could possibly want, and it's all mine. I don't owe money on anything because I am resourceful because of that lesson when I was 7 or 8 years old. Now you live with it. Aaron says Free Cycle still exists. It's Facebook. Right on. Oh, it was a cool website back in the day, but I've only used it like once. Amy says, sounds good, Aaron. Patty says, fried green tomatoes. Dolly Parton. Kathy Bates. And the girl from Beetlejuice. No. Gina Davis. Isn't that who's in it? Amy says, yeah, Judy. Nugget says, I work for the council, so I get discount on all recycled furniture and stuff for 20 pounds a shot. That ain't bad. That's a good perk right there to have. Does anything good ever come in, like, quality stuff, or is it just like things people throw away? Mr. P says, Linda, I was helping my sister do the same thing not too long ago, and I found a special ring her grandmother, our father, gave her for her sweet 16. It was lost for 20 years, and it survived a move, and she cried. Oh, that's adorable. Thank you for finding that. I'm sure she appreciates it. Aaron says, LOL, the movie I'll make that instead of apple trees. Let me read that again. LOL, the movie. I'll make that instead of the apple tree. They ate the guy, remember? LOL. Which movie? I don't know which movie you're referring to. Patty says, look back at them and smile. Mr. P says, lots of sister stuff today, I guess. Right on. Sisters are good to have. Judy says, I washed my clothes in a bathtub because I refused to go to the laundromat. I've done that many times. Stomped them out, twisted them out, and hung them up on the line. Many, many, many times. I've washed clothes in a wash tub. In fact, I still have 3 wash tubs hanging out on my barn. Big ones. I used to take a bath in one of those when I was a kid. Outside. Once a month, whether I needed it or not. Mr. P says her grandmother gave it to her, and my dad had it reset when she lost the stone. Nice. What kind of stone? Amber says, Georgia. We're just different. Well, I'm from Georgia, so I'm from right smack in the middle of it. A little towards the top, but right in the middle. And we are different. Linda says, John, unfortunately, I'm not finding anything good. A lot of stuff that I just say WTF and why. LOL. Well, keep looking. There might be something in there, buried treasure that you forgot all about, that you'll be grateful you went digging for. Hoarder stuff, says John. LOL. I do the same thing. I do the same damn thing. I don't really hoard, but I do keep everything.
That's the definition of hoarding.
You know, you'd be hard-pressed to find a dead rat in any of it. Or a cat.
That ain't got nothing to do with hoarding.
Well, every one of those shows, that's what you see. The rats and dead cats and cockroaches and, for some reason, feces everywhere. None of that going on. And Judy says, lots of stuff moving to smaller place. Right on. What it is says, preventable medical care. Preventable medical care. You do that by not going to the doctor. That's preventable medical care. You mean preventative care. Aaron says, right, clean me on mine. Clean me. Linda says, well, Walter used to bring all sorts of stuff here. I found containers of lead from x-rays. Run from that. That'll give you cancer.
All right, Linda, I've given up on cleaning anything out. Jake won't let me.
I ain't never said you couldn't clean anything out. That's a bald-faced lie.
Don't throw anything away.
That's not the same thing as don't clean anything out.
Okay.
Amy says, Linda, that might be silver, not lead, if it's from x-rays. That's possible. Aaron says, LOL. A. LOLA. 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 Linda says, I called Walter and he said it was lead, Amy. I had to ask what to do with it. I wouldn't touch it, I know that. And I wouldn't be real close to it either. Some of that old metal stuff from certain places like junkyards or construction sites or anything, some of that stuff is highly radioactive. If you have a Geiger counter, I'd run it over it. There might be an app for that, I don't know. Amy says, I just wanted a video on YouTube about a guy filtering and processing that into sellable silver, Linda. I just watched a video. Silver is $87 an ounce at the moment. Very nice. Amy says, lead. I'd get rid of it because it could hurt the kids. Then Linda. Agreed. Mr. P says, my family owned 2 scrap yards growing up. Webster's metals is still around. I know all about strange metals and junk around Sanford and Son. Ain't had shit on my family. Exactly. And that strange metal thing can go really, really wrong really, really fast, especially if it looks like a plumb bob or anything like that. It might not be. Especially if you've got like aircraft or anything like that that's anywhere near your junk. Could be any number of things. Judy says, I love antiques and clocks. I'm not real crazy about clocks, but I do like the grandfather clocks, the big ones, ornate ones with the metal weights. I do like some of that stuff. Swiss-made things, handmade, like wrist watches. I like that kind of thing. Mr. P says, I found old depleted radioactive stuff when we were kids, and we used to play on that shit. I know. I've ran into a couple of weird things in my life, too, like that. Things that should not be accessible to the public. Linda says he's supposed to be coming to get some more stuff sometime soon, so I just packed it up and put it in the shed. Patty says, my mother was an antique dealer. Nice. Went to the auction every Saturday night, and I hung out with an auction warehouse hiding and playing in furniture. That sounds like a blast. I've been to quite a few auctions in my childhood, but it was like the garbage kind, not the good kind. I've never been to a good auction. I read that one. Aaron says, Linda, like peace. Patty says, learned all about glassware types and etc. at a young age. I'm familiar. Nugget says, brand new sofas, fridge, coffee tables, washing machines. That sounds awesome. For $20 a pop? Hell yeah. Working for the council has perks. Aaron says, are coyotes brown? Yes, they're kind of grayish brown. They look like German shepherds if they had AIDS. Kinda. They're like a cross between a German shepherd and a wolf if it was sick. It's very skinny, lanky, clangly looking things. Kind of rabid, what do you call that? And where the hair falls out? What's that called? Mange. Kind of mangy looking. That's a coyote. Kind of head down, arched back. Amber says, from Gwyneth Duluth. Nice. I'm from Milledgeville. Do you know where that's at? Right up above Milledgeville, between Milledgeville and Augusta, is a place called Sandersville in Wren, in that area. Wrens. Nugget says, once I got about 300 records, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Nice. You ever run into musical instruments? I love that. I love musical instruments, especially old ones. Judy says, yes, Aaron, they are. Amanda?
That's for you to read.
Well, it's got your name on it. I am not a hoarder. Amy says, what do you get when you combine a turtle and a porcupine? A slowpoke? Nice. Or a ninja with a confused sense of identity. How about that? Aaron says, I think it's one outside walking in a trailer park because it's too big to be a dog and it's making this funny noise. And I had seen it out there before, and it comes out at night and goes in the garbage. It's definitely a coyote. Or somebody's dog that got away. But most of the time, if you see a coyote, you know that's what you're looking at. Because a coyote is kind of a wolf. Kind of. It's in the wolf family. So it's got that look. But it's also kind of like a dog. It's like a cross between a wolf and a dog. But a wolf is not a dog. Don't make that mistake. They are different animals. They are both canine, but they're not the same thing. And a coyote is in between the two. So that's probably what you're looking at. And they're opportunists. They get into trash and they hunt smaller animals, and they will honeypot a dog. Like if they see a little dog, they'll make friends with it till it gets close to them, and then they'll eat it. Patty says, Jake, my father's folks are from Cohutta, Georgia. Nice. Marlon Maples is from our little town on the Tennessee-Georgia line. Marlon Maples. Why do I know that name? Is that a singer or an actress? I do know that name, but I can't place it. And what it is says Daryl Hannah. Yeah, she's from Georgia. Judy says, stay away from it, Aaron. The coyote. Yeah, you don't want to pet it, that's for sure. It probably would run as soon as it saw you, but pack rat maybe. Definitely a pack rat. I'm definitely a pack rat, but I'm not a hoarder. I just keep things. I don't like keep ridiculous, unusable things. I don't have stacks of newspapers everywhere. Things like that. Patty says, Judy, where are you from? Judy says, Wisconsin. And Aaron says, Judy, if I go out to leave and it's there, it's over by me or by the car because the park is wide open. And I'm going to defend myself. I just was trying to find out what it is. But as long as it leaves me alone, right, then I'll leave it alone. Smart. Yeah, but they don't bark. They kind of do a high-pitched yelp kind of sound, like a almost sounds like it's in pain, kind of thing. So it's like akin to the roll call thing that a wolf does, but it's more high-pitched. I've never heard one bark anyway. I don't think they do that. Nugget says, in Britain, copper is valuable. It is valuable here, too. Every tweaker knows how to get copper. Judy says, if it's much bigger than a dog, it might be a wolf. Doubtful in Florida. It's probably a coyote. Mr. P says, hell, my pap took in half the stuff that was lying around in the yard, and he opened that yard originally in the late 40s. God only knows what was in there, right? And when I was a kid, believe it or not, that's what I wanted to be when I grew up, was a junk man like Fred Sanford. I've always had an affinity for shiny things, scraps of metal and stuff. I wanted to run a scrap yard. I never did, but that's what I wanted to be for a while when I was a kid. Patty says, okay, I see. I'm down here in Tennessee. Nice alliteration. What it is says, Arkansas in the house. Arkansas. Amy says, I've been in Arkansas. Amy says, speaking of antiques, where's Kevin? Apparently in the lap of luxury, next to Debbie. Where's Debbie? She was here a minute ago. Judy says, LOL, Amy. And Judy says, coyotes are howling outside our house now. Cool. I mean, don't go out there, but cool. Linda says, Debbie has him sitting somewhere, Amy. Aaron says, working Kevin. Probably. Yeah, I think it's snowing up north, so he's probably out stretching the road. Patty says, insane hospital. Amber says, Lake Sinclair. My childhood was spent there. And Rock Eagle. Rock Eagle Indian Campground. Nice. Which Lake Sinclair? There's a couple of them. Are you talking about the one in the Great Lakes? Or are you talking about the Eatonton one in Georgia? Amber says, Judy says Lake Michigan. Right on. Amber says Georgia Power Plant. Huge bridge. All right. So that's the one I was thinking about. Yep. I used to live not too far from that thing. And what it is that old bum Bob just might be an ancient butt plug. The old plumb Bob just might be an ancient butt plug. Yep. Don't be playing with that or handling it. You might get something on you. You might. If it looks like a plumb bob and it ain't one, it might be a butt plug. Or, a radioactive isotope carrying device. Amy says a coyote isn't that big compared to a wolf. No, they're not as big as a wolf. It's about the same as a medium-sized dog, right? They're German Shepherd-esque. They got that kind of body style. Long and lanky, skinny legs. Patty says John H. Cooper is very valuable here as well. Copper. John Nugget Copper is valuable here as well. Patty says President Trump's second wife, Marla Maples. Oh, okay. That's why I know that name. And Linda says coyotes usually run in packs. So if there's one, there's more. That's correct. Nugget says, Patty, I used to work on construction sites stripping armed cables for the copper. I've pulled cables before. I've never stripped them, but I've pulled them. In case you're wondering, there's thousands of miles of cables that are that big around with lots of wire inside of them going around power plants. And the way you get them out there is you have a team of men pulling them through the pipes, through the conduits, pulling them like tug of war to get them all through there. Grease up the pipe, pull the wire. Thousands of miles of it. Round and round and round and round it goes. All through a power plant. I've done many jobs in a power plant, and that's the lowest one of them. And Judy says, scary sound, makes my skin crawl, coyotes. Yeah, it's kind of creepy sounding. Definitely that. Chasing the roadrunner, the coyote is what it is. Said in a Yoda voice, chasing the roadrunner, coyote is. Meet me. Pew. I love the roadrunner. Mr. P says it was a good life for kids with those scrap yards till people pass away. Then the family splits up over who gets what. Have a will. So there isn't any fighting over it all. I agree with that. Unfortunately, that's the way families are, though. Everybody wants their piece that they didn't earn. And it seems to be that way. When my mom and dad died, they both died pretty close to each other. And I just had to sit back and let people just come in and just take whatever they wanted. Just take that, take that, take that. Take pictures, take clothes and jewelry. And all I could do was sit and watch because I didn't care about any of that. I was just trying to handle the death of my mom, And that's the way it be. That's how it goes. Amber says, our lake property was across from Goat Island. Nice. Amber says, be right back, taking the trash to the dumpster. Watch out for them trash pandas. Trash panda, Amanda. Nugget says, John, my dad owned a scrapyard too, my first job. Nice. Both Johns, both grew up in scrapyards. Isn't that strange? John says, it was fun, man. Hell, I barely knew as I worked. I barely knew it as work unless it was hard labor that day or a huge amount of grass and weed to cut. Still, if I had kids, I'd want something like that for them. Well, yeah, it's nice to have an established lifestyle for your children, whatever it is. You just hope that they adapt to it and go with it rather than rebelling and turning against you and going against everything you stand for. That can happen too. Whatever. Life is that way. But if you can provide an identity, an establishment for your family to grow up and be part of, that's a beautiful thing. Nugget says, I used to use a Stanley blade first and then pull. I don't know what a Stanley blade is, but if you're talking about pulling wire, I know what that is. Are you talking about a box cutter? That's the only thing I can think of, Stanley blade. Otherwise, I don't know what that means. All right, people got to start talking now. We're at the bottom of the chat. And I'm not that creative, so somebody say something. Where did Debbie go? She hadn't said anything in a while. Ba-ba-de-ba-ba-ba. And box cutter, right. Yeah. I know what you're talking about then. I use one of those every day. For cutting boxes. Or it's actually for cutting tape. But you can cut boxes with it. It's pretty sharp. Patty says, what is Friday night topic? Whatever you want it to be. The title says, the lap of luxury is the perviest place life gives you to sit, or something like that. Is a pervy place to sit in life is the lap of luxury. Something like that. I forget now, but it was funny when I thought about it. But whatever you would like to talk about, that's what we're talking about. Tonight's Friday, and it's time for the week to be over. I'm tired. It's been a long week. We're just going to chill and enjoy each other's company. President Trump has established a peace board. Excellent, Patty. Who's on it, and what does that mean? What does he hope to accomplish with this peace board? Mr. P says, something's been up lately with all the live streams. YouTube changed something with how they send viewers and where they send them, and there's a video out now about it. I'll have to look for that. I did not know that they changed anything. It wouldn't surprise me, though. Anything they could do to screw you out of more money. Patty says, will it let us know who is on later? Who is on it later? Will let us know who is on it later. What you're saying is you haven't found out who's yet? Who is on the peace board? When they cry peace, 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 but there will be no peace. Well, you know that's coming already, Patty. You've read the back of the book, too. It's going to get interesting, but it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. Unfortunately. I wish it was, but it's not. There'll always be wars and rumors of wars, and that will never go away, unfortunately. Peace board sounds like a good idea, though, doesn't it? I've also heard recently that he has made fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. So if you get caught with any of it, no matter how much or how little, you are not going to see freedom again for a very, very long time, if ever. So there's that. That's a good thing. I said maybe we'll finally get some good cocaine out of it. Been a while since that's been a reality, too. Can't trust nothing anymore. Touch anything, you're liable to die from it. The best thing you do is stay home and keep yourself clean. But certainly don't get on any John boats or leaving Venezuela. It's not a good idea at the moment. Mr. P says, I wonder if liberals are still going to want Chinamen or Ruskies or Iranians to hurt the U. I don't know. The UN? I don't know what you're asking there. Mr. P, Nugget says the Europeans have put troops on Greenland, France, Denmark, Finland, and I think Germany. Nice. As they should. Patty says, should have been a pandemic before COVID. Well, there have been pandemics before. That's what the Black Plague was, and the Spanish flu was one. Mr. P says, U.S., when it's them that get hurt. Well, you know, they're not the best decision makers these days. I remember back in the day when they used to smoke a lot of weed and talk about things. Now they're doing some stuff that I don't agree with too much. But that's just the way the world goes. And it's going to work out the way it's going to work out. Amy says it only takes a small amount, no more than 2 grains of salt, for fentanyl to be deadly. Well, now it's not only deadly, it'll cost you your life. Don't get caught with any. It is now declared a weapon of mass destruction, which is a good thing. I think that's the right thing to do with that. Fentanyl is a very scary thing. And there, you know, there was nothing wrong with morphine. It don't need to be any stronger than that. Enough trouble with morphine. And John says, I accidentally hit the send button sometimes. Can't be helped. I hear you. That's all right. You can say what you want. You're in a safe place. I don't have to agree with it, but you can say it. And I'll protect your right to do so. But in this case, I do. I don't know what's in store for Greenland. I've heard the talking points, and I know what the general idea is, the reason behind what's going on. I don't know how it's going to go about being implemented, but I know that what happened in Venezuela, despite hearing everybody whine about it in the United States, everybody in Venezuela loves it. They're happy as all get out. That's what they wanted to happen. And I kind of suspect the same thing for Greenland. We'll see. At what capacity does the flux capacitor operate at low torque? You said talk about something, Jake, so there you go. At what capacity? Half capacity. The flux capacitor works 100% of the time, 90% of the time. But it only works in DeLoreans for some reason. It's a proprietary system. It will not work in a Ford, so don't even try. And if you put it in a Chevy Impala, The only place you'll go to Church's Chicken. I don't know why. It's a design flaw. Patty says, I used to smoke a little weed, but I would not now for no amount of money. Right on. Yeah, I've tried it, and I like the idea of it, and I would love to be a pothead, but it just does not work for me. It just makes me stupid, and I do not like to feel stupid. So I stay away from it. Nugget says, you know what's funny? Funny. Keir Starmer has changed the recruitment of troops age range over 60s. So now you could be over 60 years old and be recruited into the army? That's terrible. What it is says, well, I've got a roof over my head, and I got clothes on my back, and I got food in my belly, and I live in a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms just by myself. I got a washer and a dryer and a dishwasher, a refrigerator and an oven. Right on. So do I. I don't have a dishwasher. I have a dishwasher, but it's the old model. You live in that by yourself? You don't have kids? Or a wife? If not, you need to get on that, buddy. Find some woman and make you honest. Patty says, I'm down on drugs, and sure as heck, someone would put fentanyl in it and kill me, and they would say, see, we knew she did that crap. Right? Well, hopefully they're not putting fentanyl in marijuana. That would be kind of strange. But for some reason, they're putting it in all the powdery substances like cocaine and methamphetamines and things like that. And I don't know why they do that. First of all, it's the wrong kind of high. It's an opioid, so it goes down. It doesn't go up. And if you're putting that in cocaine, you're like defeating the purpose. So what would even be the need to do something like that? I don't understand why. It's not a filler. It can't be that cheap. So I don't know why they do it. I think it's a concerted effort to kill people, thin out the herd a little bit. That's my opinion, but I don't know if that's true or not. That's just how I feel about it. Mr. P says, damn, all I need now is to build one more room and get a dishwasher, right? And Patty says, yes, they are, Jake. Evil. I think so. I really think that. I mean, I don't know that much about chemistry, but I have a cursory knowledge. I have an understanding of how chemistry works. And I can't for the life of me understand why they would put fentanyl in cocaine. But they do. And if you go buy cocaine right now, chances are you're going to buy some with fentanyl in it. Why? It's like they're flooding the streets with it. And it's in other kind of painkillers too. Like if you get a Oxycontin, it might have fentanyl in it. Why? Why would you do that? Unless you were trying to make fentanyl in everything. That's the only reason that I could see doing that. And it looks to me like that's what they're doing. Who are they? I don't know. Government? Some conspicuous 3-letter agency? I don't know who's doing it. Amanda?
Get it from a dispensary. You'll be all right.
Probably. Unless they get affected by it.
No, because they're regulated.
Patty says, that's right, John. I'm not paranoid. I'm smart. Well, just because you're paranoid does not mean they're not out to get you. Believe that. Amy says, my husband was an addict. And he knew the risk, but didn't think it would happen to him. Dumbass. Should have listened to his wife. I agree. And it can happen to anybody. You got to be very careful these days. If you can abstain, you should. But we're all addicts. Don't make the mistake of thinking he was special because of that. And I don't mean that in derogatory. I mean, we're all addicts of something. You know. Tennessee does not have dispensaries. It's not legal everywhere. It's not legal anywhere federally. which is why they have to play the game here. It's legal in North Carolina, but once a month they get busted. Which
Once
means
a year.
Once a year, which means the cops come in, take all their product and a bunch of money, and then leave. They don't arrest them. They just get them. It's a racket. It's what it is. And I think that's why it's not legal, because they make a lot of money that way.
It's 100% legal in Colorado.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's 100% legal here, too. But it's not legal federally. It's legal locally, but not federally. It's still very much they just lowered. It used to be a Schedule 1. Now they lowered it to Schedule 3, but just recently, like this month or last month. So up until now, it was the kind of illegal that you'd really get in trouble for. Now it's less of an issue because now it's Schedule 3 instead of Schedule 1. I might have that backwards, but you know what I'm saying. Debbie's here. She says, I'm addicted to Kevin. Ha. That's a good addiction. And I bet he likes it too. Nugget says, all drugs are poison, even marijuana. I agree. And there are things that are drugs that you don't even think about, like sugar and coffee. Both drugs. Patty says, Miss Amy, he made a choice, and by the grace of God, there go I. Right? We all make choices. Sometimes we make the wrong one. Don't let that hurt you that he made that decision, because it's an easy one to make, and so many people are faced with that. Who knows what drove him to do the things he did? I don't know the guy. But I know what drives me to do the things that I do. And I'm not an especially bad person, but pain is pain. You have enough of that sometimes. So I wouldn't let that hurt your feelings too bad. Just know that it's a hard world, and sometimes people get the wrong end of the deal. And I'm guessing that's what happened. And Patty says, President Trump did something to it just recently. Yeah, he lowered the scheduling. It was Schedule 1 forever. It was on the same level as, like, heroin, which that's ridiculous, because pot is, first of all, it's medicinally good for you. Second of all, it ain't nothing like heroin or any other drug that's in that schedule. But they kept it there, and it started that way because of the cotton gin. Because I don't know if you know this or not, before the cotton gin was invented, hemp was America's #1 export. That's the biggest thing that we exported out of this country for a long time, until whatever the guy's name is that invented the cotton gin. I can't think of his name. Whitley? John C. Whitley or something like that. I can't. Eli Whitley? I think that's the guy. Anyway, he lobbied the government to keep marijuana illegal. So they outlawed it, and they put out all those propaganda videos, you know, the dope videos in the 60s and the 50s. All of that happened. And so it was like a scare tactic to scare people away from drugs. And they made it a drug. They called it marijuana. It didn't used to be called that. It's a Mexican scare tactic. Anyway, they just reversed that, like this month or last month. It was recently, like very recently. And so now it's not in the same class as heroin or cocaine or whatever, but it used to be. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's what I'm getting out of it. Amy says, most drugs come from plants created by God. True. God gave us everything we need to help ourselves and to heal ourselves, or also to kill ourselves. All things in moderation, even moderation. If you drink too much water, you can die from it. Quite easily. Matter of fact, there was somebody that radio show put on a contest. Whoever drank the most water wins a truck or something like that, or $1,000, I don't remember. And a woman died from drinking too much water at one time. So it was just water, and I think she drank like 3 gallons of water and died. So what is life-giving can also take it away. Mr. P says, I don't think it should be legal. I blame it for a ton of the BS that libtards get up to. And not everyone does this, but there is a certain lifestyle that sets in on chronic pot smokers. I agree. I don't think it should be illegal. I think it should be decriminalized. I don't think it should be legal, but I don't think it should be illegal, because I don't think it's anybody's business what a grown person puts in their body or does in their own private time. The problem is when it hurts somebody else. That should be illegal. Air is poison, says Cowboys 8 Panel. You're right about that, too. Quite literally, because only a certain percentage of it is oxygen. The rest of it is other gases that are quite literally poisonous to you. And Amy says he was in pain, both physically and mentally. Right. And pain can drive people to do things that aren't necessarily the wisest things to do. So don't hold that against him. It was a bad situation. But I can understand where he was coming from. I'm not saying you do hold that against him. I'm just voicing my opinion, you know. Mr. P says a pattern of degradation or degeneration and uselessness. Yeah, that seems to be a pattern amongst that type. But not everybody. Not everybody. I've seen people that can smoke pot and then just become very productive. Not me. If I smoke pot, it's over. There's nothing else coming out of me. Not even conversation.
That's me. I want to smoke, enjoy the high for a few minutes, and then do something.
Eli Whitney, that's right. Thank you, Amy and Debbie. And Amanda. Nugget says, I started on drugs and then stopped and jumped to drinking.
Drinking's worse than drugs sometimes.
It can be, yeah. Patty says, Miss Amy, good book says, I give you every herb and seed that you will need. It does that. Mr. P says, same, John. The booze was worse on me, far worse, right? All you got to do is look at Mick Jagger or Keith Richards or any of those guys and know that drugs will not kill you unless something's wrong with them or unless you go too far with them. Because them boys have been doing it a long time. I'm pretty sure Keith Richards ain't even human anymore. I'm pretty sure he's using somebody else's blood. That guy's like a mummy. And Nugget says, John, it's about the same. Patty says, well, the booze changes your spirit to give you courage, and the Lord will give you that. True. Well, they call it spirits for a reason. There are spirits in that substance. It will change yours, too. I've never got the drinking thing for whatever reason. I don't know why it's in my DNA, but it just never took to me. So I never was a drinker. I could live the rest of my life and never drink alcohol. That don't mean I hadn't done some stuff, though. Amy says, I'm doing my security check. All right. Well, only 57 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Mr. P says, I hit the bottle, and the bottle just so happened to hit me back a lot harder. Well, there's a devil in the bottle, and it wants to see you dead. Amy says, being an addict does not mean a person is bad. It means they make a bad decision. Right. No, it does not mean a person's bad. It doesn't even mean that there's anything wrong with them. There are high-functioning addicts. I am one. But I spent a very large period of my time hopped up on painkillers and still managed to function and run a business and do my job and raise kids and the whole 9 yards. But I was a high-functioning heroin addict, for lack of a better word. I never did actual heroin, but I did the hard stuff, you know, Oxycontin and all that, morphine, for a lot of years. I'm off of it now, but you can bet there's a price to pay for it. It was not easy. Nugget says, drink it. It makes you so depressant. A drink is a depressant. Yes. There's Kevin. What's up, brother? He says, do not send help, please. Or dot not send help, please. Yeah, don't send help, please. How you doing, Kev? Patty says, I used to like to decorate when I had marijuana cigarettes. Had a marijuana cigarette. In the 90s, they call that a joint. I don't know what they call it now. Blunt? Something. Nugget says, I used to drink about 20 cans a day. My dad used to do that for breakfast. That was a man that had a drinking problem. He started when he was in a bottle. And I mean that literally, like as a baby. His mama used to put alcohol in the bottle to shut him up, keep him quiet. And he'd been drinking his whole life that way. I've seen him drink a fifth of liquor, hard liquor, before leaving for work. I've seen him do it. And God knows how many he drank during the day. His whole life. I don't think I ever saw him sober until the last year of his life. He quit drinking cold turkey, just stopped. I don't know how he did that, but his life ended with him blowing his brains out, so that'll tell you something. You can glean information from that detail. Judy says, LOL, Kevin. Amy says, they did a study that showed microdosing psilocybin mushrooms helps with depression better than SSRIs. SSRIs are poison. They will not help your depression. They will keep you depressed and then make you addicted. Don't do those things. Those are bad things. That's the devil right there. They work instantly. SSRIs take weeks to go into effect, and they're not curing your depression. They're only masking it. Depression is a state of mind, and it can be caused the same way it can be cured, by controlling your own mind. That's the only way to do it. You have to wrest control of your own brain. And it is possible. The reason you don't think it is because society tells you that you can't. But you can. Mr. P says, yes, the drink is a potential downer. If you do it to the extreme that I was doing, I was the life of the party on booze at first. Trouble is when you lose control of it all, right? Well, it's a sliding battle, isn't it? When the minute you start, you're on a downhill slide towards the inevitable losing control. It goes more booze, less control. And it never stops. The more you do, the more you have to do. Same thing with cocaine or any of those drugs. Amy says, not enough to trip or hallucinate, but it is a calming effect. 8 to 10 mass murderers are on SSRIs. Yes, because it is not a cure. It's a crutch. I would argue to say that SSRIs enable the mass murdering. Microdosing is an amazing thing. I've never done it, but I want to. I'd like to try it. But I think God put that medicine here for that very use, to help people with severe depression. I am a person that suffers from clinical severe depression. The problem is I'm aware of it. And when you're aware of it, you do things, you take steps to control it. And that is really the only position you can be in, because it has its toll on you. Nugget says, I have an addictive personality. I really don't. I'm not really an addictive person, but there are things that I am chemically dependent upon. But it's from years and years of exposure, not because I'm quick to be addicted to anything. Amanda says,
Hamburger helper hand, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Patty says, if it's natural, I'm okay. But if it's man had a hand on it, it's synthetic and it's no good. I can agree with that. That's not to say I wouldn't partake, but I don't disagree with that. That is a very astute judgment. Patty says, doobie is what I called it, righto. Amy says, Aaron, you still here or did you fall asleep? He probably fell asleep. He hadn't said anything in a while. Linda says, hi, Kevin. John says, now I suffer from acid reflux syndrome due to drinking stomach lining unrepairable. That's terrible. A lot of Tums, buddy. Drink some raw eggs. And Patty says, I read that SSRIs are mostly fluoride. Read the ingredients. If generic, you only get 60 to 70% of the rest is fillers. Well, there's definitely fluoride in it, and fluoride calcifies the pineal gland, which is what causes you to lose your sensation of emotion. It's not stopping you from being depressed. It only stops you from feeling the depression, but it's still there. You just can't tell that it's there, and that will cause you to lose your inhibitions and do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do because your sense of right and wrong go numb too. Your sense of you shouldn't do that, or if your personality would inhibit you, that goes away, and then you can just do whatever you want to do without emotional regret, which is a bad situation. Don't do SSRIs. Those are bad for you. If you're on them, wean yourself off of them slowly and get off of them. Cowboys 8 Panel says that sucks, Nugget. It does kind of suck. I disagree with the unrepairable part, though. The human body, God designed it pretty sweet, and it can repair itself, but it takes about a year. Or 2, sometimes 2. Your body goes through changes every 7 years, but during that process, certain things can heal over time. But you cannot heal if you're still doing the same thing to your stomach that you've always done to it. You got to give it a chance to heal. That means going on a super bland diet, not taking anything that gets your stomach acids up in a roar. It's not pleasant, but it can be done. Patty says, weight gain comes with these SSRIs. I seen this with Kanye West when he gained all that weight and then quit the antidepressants. Yeah, you can gain a lot of weight with SSRIs, that's true. And a lot of other things happen to your body as well. Every study I've ever seen with any SSRIs have all been bad. I promise you that that's not the answer. Meditation will be better for you than SSRIs. Jogging would be better for you than SSRIs. You'd be surprised how much just going on a jog every day would change your mental state. For some reason, exercise is really good for your brain. It really is. And it will dumb you down, too. That's right, Patty. John says, first degree burns, and I was dropping speed bombs when I was drinking. Oh, yeah, I bet. I bet that you did a number on yourself. Well, all right, y'all, it's 10:12. It's that time, about time for me to turn into a pumpkin. Please do hit that like button, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available. But if you want to help out, you can go to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband or CashApp $jakejohnsonband. Every little bit helps if you dig the material, and I greatly appreciate your support. I will do everything in my power to be worthy of that support. I will avail myself of you 24/7, and I will always answer all of your questions and comments. And now, moving on. The short version. Jaeger bombs. Oh, yeah, Jaeger bombs. I was introduced to Jaeger bombs in the 2000s, back when I started my band up and we were touring And that became a very popular thing, the Jägermeister. I'd never heard of it before. Man, it is a nasty drink. It's like cough medicine and chocolate mixed. But that seems to be the drug of choice for the college kids these days. And Judy says, bye, y'all. Judy, I love you, sweet lady. Nugget says, good night, everybody. Bless us all. That's a fact. God bless us all. Linda says, good night, all. Heart. Heart back at you. And Amy says, Jägermeister and Red Bull. Amanda?
Nighters all. See you tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Untethered Live for Politi-Tics.
Yeah.
Much love.
Much love. Patty says, good night, John, from across the pond. All right, everybody. When you go out into the world tomorrow, be nice to somebody. I promise you it'll change your life. It'll make everything better. How do I know that? Because love is all you need. It's in the Bible. Kevin says, ah. Is that pleasure and pain, Kevin? Cowboy says, heart back at you, cowboy. I love you. Kevin, I'm sorry you got here late, but I'm glad I got to see you. Hope all is well. Patty says, oh, I had fun. Thank you, Miss Amanda and Jake. Prayers. Prayers back at you, Patty. Debbie says, good night. Now no one rescue Kevin. I got things to do. As she sharpens her blades. And Amy says, should have shown up sooner, Kev. He's probably in the back listening. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow night for some politics, and we can get politically all over the place. Until then, though, have a great night. God bless each and every one of you. I love you true from the bottom of my heart. I do. And I enjoyed the conversation tonight. Until next time.
Good night, y'all.